Hello, my friends, and hello to God's enemies as well. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Unless he watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain. In vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat. He grants sleep to those he loves. And make note that children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring are a reward from him. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. They will not be put to shame when they contend with their opponents in court. You didn't listen to that, did you? You rise up early and stay up late looking for food to eat. Children to abuse, really. Really. And you think you can get away with this forever. I'm afraid not. Here's a history lesson. When human beings began to increase in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw the daughters of humans were beautiful. And they married any of them they chose, even the sons and daughters, the children. Then the Lord said, my spirit will not contend with humans forever. They're mortal. Their days will be 120 years. The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. He regretted he'd made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. So he said, I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race I've created, with them the animals, the birds, the creatures that move along the ground, for I regret I have made them. One man, Noah, found favor in the eyes of the Lord. He had offspring of every race, creed. That information is not for you sons of evil, though. It's not for you to understand the truth. You've chosen black, dark lies and evil practices. That's what you embrace. Who is the Jezebel of Revelation 2:20? I have this against you, that you tolerate that woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophetess and is teaching and seducing my servants to practice sexual immorality and eat food sacrificed to idols. The food is children, for Christ, not Christ's sake. You're consuming their bodies. Old Testament, she's the daughter of Baal, king of Sidon. He's a demon, a rebellious demon who went to earth to attempt to seduce my people away from their following, which is me, Yahweh. And I warned the Israelites not to interact, but they got tempted. Now I'm going to tell you words from the Son of God, who has eyes like a flame of fire, and in fact I do today, and his feet like fine brass. I know your works, to the corrupt church. I know your works, love, service, faith, and your patience. And as for your works, the last are more than the first. Nevertheless, I have a few things against you, because you allow that woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophetess, teach and seduce my servants to commit sexual immorality and eat things sacrificed to idols. And I gave her time to repent, but she did not repent. Indeed, I will cast her into a sick bed, and those who commit adultery with her into great tribulation, unless they repent of their deeds. I will kill her children with death, and all the churches shall know I am he who searches the hearts and minds and hearts. I will give each one of you according to your works. Now to the rest of you, as many as do not have this doctrine, who have not known the depths of Satan, as they say, I will put on you no other burden, but hold fast what you have till I come. And he who overcomes and keeps my works until the end, to him I will give power over the nations. He shall rule them with a rod of iron, and they shall be dashed to pieces like potter's vessels. As I also have received from my Father, and I will give him the morning star. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. All right, Baal practices. Baal, Baal, Baal. The cult was widespread in ancient nation of Israel and the Canaanites and Egypt, Mesopotamia, due to the surrounding nations' influences. It was a pagan god of choice because it supposedly controlled things people needed to survive and worship more than others, such as sex and supposedly rain. The worshippers would gather around a statue or figure, which was half bull, half man god, and to get the undivided attention, would sacrifice live infants into the burning hands of this thing with fire in his belly. When his hands would reach the white-hot temperature, the infant would be placed into the white-hot hands. While the infant was being burned alive, the worshippers were engaging in sexual intercourse with multiple partners in the hopes of enticing life-giving rains for their crops, gardens, and orchards. These practices caused many unwanted pregnancies, but then they solved that problem by making the unwanted babies they conceived during their religious services part of the following worship, where these infants would be burned alive. Today, none worship that way, but are still sacrificing unwanted babies and placing them in the altar of convenience. Well, they're doing more than that. They're also sacrificing children. They're using them up sexually and then harvesting their organs. It's the same practice. Yesterday, I declared the day of God's wrath, and I reiterate, that was day before yesterday, I reiterate, today is the day of God's wrath. These things will be exposed. Those practicing them will have some angel plagues loosed on you, and your parts will get sore. You will be cursed. You will be lined up, prosecuted. My people will prevail.